Prior to 2008, when Mark D'Antonio took over, I think more games felt like this one than last year.
That's because he was a badass. He was a grouchy guy he wanted to beat, and he wanted to beat the living daylights out of Michigan.
No, but,
he would sell his soul to beat Michigan.
But what I'm trying to say is, prior to Mark D'Antonio coming and having an elongated success against Michigan and really building a brand there for Michigan State, and not to where Michigan State wasn't a good team. They were a good program under Mark D'Antonio, and I think those are two different things. Look, Michigan State had a great year. I think it was, what was it, 87, the 88 Rose Bowl.
88 Rose Bowl.
That was a great team, but were they a great program back then? Because if you go back through it, I mean, they won 2 games in the 80s. They won 4 games in the 90s. But in the 80s and 90s, they won, 6 games.
Yeah, even with that, I still think that it was a rivalry. I still think that this was something like it was never like this. Even when I was at Michigan, hell, look, Michigan, we were better than Michigan State every year that I was there, but it still was a dogfight. With the exception of obviously the Bobby Williams game, 49-3. But in 2003, we win by 7. In 2004, we go to triple overtime, we win overtime. So the game always came down to the wire, whether Michigan State started off hot, whether we started off hot, whether Michigan State got hot late. There was always something. There always was a level of, oh, shoot, here we go. In the Michigan State game, Michigan just seemed to always come up on the winning side.
And there's no doubt about that. I guess what I'm trying to say is, prior to Mark D'Antonio coming to Michigan State and building a program and building a brand in which he really set the tone for this Michigan game, they have won 10 of the last 14. You cannot dispute those numbers. But I'm saying prior to that, Michigan always expected to beat Michigan State. More weeks felt like this one than felt like last year, when there was that anxiety about these two Goliaths going head-to-head against each other. Last year was special. The rivalry since D'Antonio has been there has been special. But growing up, for me, this was not even a thought that Michigan State could beat you. And it's now they have won games over the course of, again, I'm talking about prior to 08. More weeks have felt like this one to me than not.
But you could take that a step further and say that more weeks, you can take that a step further and say everybody outside Ohio State, it felt that way. I tell you this, I don't know if people really pay attention when I say this. I only lost to 2 schools when I was in college. I lost to Iowa, lost to Ohio State. Just think about all the Big Ten games I played in 4 years. Never lost to Illinois. Never lost to Purdue. Never lost to Wisconsin. Never lost, and the list goes on. Northwestern and the list goes on. I never lost. So I think that conversation is why they said back in the day it was Ohio State or it was Michigan. Cut the deck. Nobody else. Every once in a while, an Iowa will sneak and beat a Michigan, or a Penn State will beat a Michigan. But on a regular basis, Michigan and Ohio State were winning all their games against Big Ten opponents.
All right, we're going to go around.
And Ohio State seems to still be doing so.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ohio State. And look, when
except Iowa and Purdue.
And I'm hoping more years feel like last year for the Michigan-Ohio State game than over the last 20 years, no doubt about that.